So guys, welcome back again to my channel, Filipina here. This is part 2 of the same topic I uploaded recently. And in this video, I will continue the reasons, why a language barrier, especially when a Filipina has very limited English, or she can only speak and understand very little English, can possibly scam a foreign guy in a long distance relationship. Let's have number 5. Gaining sympathy by appearing naive or innocent. Oh my gosh. That's why, guys, you have to be very careful when it comes to innocent looking Filipinas. The facade, right? They look so sweet and young and naive, right? But you don't know. Okay, it says here, number 5, limited English makes the woman seem more innocent, sheltered, or unworldly. Traits some foreigners find endearing or pure. There you go. You guys can easily be manipulated because of, soft-spoken Filipinas. Not all. They look so innocent. They speak so sweet because she uses a few words, right? So you think that she's non-westernized. So this image lowers the man's guard and makes him feel protective or responsible. So now, because you guys think that she's so innocent and naive, like you are wearing this invisible cape and you think you're going to be a savior, so you feel like you are responsible for her life, right? So, okay, the scammer plays into this perception to manipulate emotions. Because what you see, it's just like a wolf in a sheep's clothing. That's right. Wolves in a sheep's clothing, right? They want to appear innocent, okay? Like she's so conservative. She looks so young and, naive. Seems like she doesn't know anything about the outside world. So, a lot of you guys, of course, we cannot say all, a lot of you foreigners find it so attractive. That's all for number 5. Here's number 6. Using interpreters, real or fake. Okay, let's have this one. She may involve a cousin or a friend or a neighbor to help translate, who might actually be her partner or scam accomplice. So it might not be really a cousin or friend, but that scammer will pretend or will introduce, or, oh, this is my friend, this is my neighbor, she or he will translate for me, like that. Because that friend or neighbor or cousin can actually speaks better English. So what does it mean, using interpreters, real or fake? This makes the foreigner think she is serious and committed, but also hides the true nature of her life and intentions. There you go. So since she has limited English, or she speaks and understands limited English, so she will, ask someone, because they speak another language, right? And this translator will translate for her. Since you don't know her native language, the first language that she knows, you got no idea what they're trying to talk there. Maybe they're planning to scam you and so on. All right. So I think that's self-explanatory for number 6. For number 7, guys, exploiting the foreign man's assumptions. So what does it say? Many Western men assume Filipinas don't speak much English due to rural life or lack of education. Scammers play into that stereotype to explain away strange behavior, gaps in communication, or robotic messages. This is funny. Yeah, this might trigger some Filipinas who's listening on this one. And this is stereotype. I didn't invent this. Those who live in the rural areas or countrysides, also who lack education. So you guys assume that they cannot really speak English well. I love this one, actually. Scammers play into that stereotype to explain away strange behaviors, gaps in communication. Okay, so this one, the scammers will tell you that, oh, I live poorly, I live in poverty, my My family doesn't have enough money to send us to school, so I didn't finish education, like that. But in broken English. So maybe she didn't finish elementary or high school, right? Because they're so poor, they live in the mountains, whatnot, in the middle of rice field. So for these scammers to avoid your suspicions, right? Because you observe that she is doing strange behavior, and there's also lots of gaps in communication, not only the misunderstanding, but there's just a lot of things that she cannot answer, right? And she will tell you that, oh, because I lack education, I cannot answer your questions. In number 8, we have keeping the relationship superficial. All right, so what does it says about this one? Because deep communication is difficult, the relationship remains surface level, built on affection, attraction, and fantasy, not substance. Also, this makes it easier to control and manipulate. The man often projects his own desires onto her rather than knowing who she really is. We are not pertaining to all Filipinas in the provinces, all right? So what we're trying to say here, those, it doesn't matter what age, guys, this is just to remind you, it doesn't matter if she is 18, 19, in her 20s, 30s, even a Filipina in her 50s, 60s can be a scammer. If a Filipina doesn't speak and understand English very well, right? How can you guys discuss the things that you guys like, the hobbies, right? The likes and dislikes, the things that uh, you have in your lives. How can she explain about her family? Those deep topics. How can she explain how she feels, right? How can she show her emotion, her frustration, explain, elaborate things, problems, just the general stuff, right? So what happens to your relationship is a typical, how are you? Did you eat? Do you eat? Do you eat na? Did you eat dinner? Just like that. How is your family? How are you? And so on. So what happens here is, right? So you guys only build the relationship based on the attraction. Okay, for you, she is 9, 10, 10, 10, like that. So for you, that's just enough. I agree on this one. This makes it easier to control and manipulate you. So since you guys cannot talk about a lot of stuff, there's no deep communication, discussion, right? You are the only one who could explain your desires and your likes, your plans for the future, right? Your plans with her. What are you guys gonna do, right? So it's like one-way streets only. So we're done with number 8. Let's go to number 9. Number 9 is keeping communication one-sided. Yeah, one-sided, like one-way street only, right? She may rarely ask about your life in detail, always shifting the conversation back to her needs or emotions. The language barrier makes it acceptable for her to just listen or respond minimally, making the foreigner do all the emotional labor. Yes, guys, I totally agree on this 1000%. Because, if there's only one person who can understand English, okay. Yes, of course, there are a lot of foreigners out there. No offense, guys. This is just real talk. There's a lot of foreigners out there who cannot express themselves in English, and English is not your first language. For example, all right, your Filipino speaks English very well, but you are the one who cannot really use and understand conversational English. Yeah, I'm not sure how you guys would ping pong conversation, isn't it? She can only answer very little. If you have questions, simple questions, but deep questions like, I don't know, what do you want to ask? Explaining, right? If you want to ask her to explain their life, uh, family background, economical situation, about her siblings and family, so on. I think it's more on you're gonna put a lot of effort in understanding her. Okay, so let's have number 10. This one, oh my gosh. Requesting financial help using simple English. Request like, can I borrow money? Can you help me? My mom is sick. No food today, no rice this week, like that. Need load for chat are easy to say with basic English. Yeah, 3 to 4, 5 words only. No food today, no rice tomorrow. I don't know, right? I don't understand. Okay, so these types of scams don't require fluency, just a repeated emotional story and a trusting foreigner. Because you guys lack skepticism, or you're not skeptical, you're not asking, right? You're not being careful. I'm not saying that's totally bad, but yeah. So these scammers, they're just waiting for the potential victims. If you're too naive or too stupid like, like that, they don't have to be fluent, you know. They can repeat these things. They can repeat these things to many foreigners. Or, okay, let's say they're just chatting with only one, you know. They just have to give you it's either a video or a chat that sounds like so sad, right? And there you go here, because you are a Western guy who's so, like, you feel like you want to be the hero. You know, you want to help more and more. You want to be the knight in a shining armor, you know. So because you got so, you feel so pity, you're not thinking very well. You're not even asking yourself, is this even right? Is she really being true? You know what I mean? So number 10 should be number 1. But anyway, these are all important. Oh, wow. So I'm going to end this soon. Number 11 reason, how can a Filipino with limited English or speaks or understand very little English can scam a foreigner is delaying or avoiding meeting in person. Isn't it? So the scammer may use the language barrier to avoid video calls, claiming, I'm shy, she is shy, or she is embarrassed to speak English live. That's why. This is a good thing to observe. Yeah, this is totally a red flag. Once a Filipino doesn't want to have video calls, that's totally red flag. You don't have to wait for a day. If she's gonna say, "Oh, can we just video call later, or after a few hours," it sounds so shady, like that. This helps hide her real identity, age, or relationship status. Yeah. She might also make excuses like, I not ready talk video. Like, I do not talk good in video, like that. Only thing they want is what you are sending to them. I'll just put this one in at the bottom because it's so important. The language barrier doesn't prevent a scam. Okay? It actually enables it by creating confusion, dodging accountability, and lowering the foreigner's skepticism. That's why it's so important for us to question the person, to question ourselves, question foreigners. We also, Filipinos, need to ask interrogate, not in a bad way, to get to know more about the person. Because once the Filipina cannot answer you right away, more likely there is a reason why she doesn't want to answer. So these scams often rely more on emotional manipulation and timing than fluent conversation. There are young scammers, older Filipino women scammers. Since you guys, a lot of you are like desperate, if not, you are so blinded by how attractive they are. Even like for you, it's okay if she cannot speak good English because she's pretty, like that, or she's beautiful, she looks so naive and innocent. So for you, it's just fine if the communication is just a one-way street. There's no deep conversation. So guys, that's all for now. Thank you so much for your time and for having an open mind and being mature while listening and watching this video. I'm gonna put timestamps for you, don't worry, so you know what to watch. So anyway, thank you guys and have a great day. See you next time.